Hello, welcome to my weekly reading vlog. Today is Sunday. Today's Sunday. Okay, I have not finished a book today yet. I'm more than halfway through the one I'm reading right now, which is Haven by Rebekah Weatherspoon. Yes, I think that's her name. I was planning on finishing it tonight, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish it tonight. I have 1 hour before I go to bed, so 70-80%, we'll see. And then finish it tomorrow, and then honestly I don't know what I'm gonna read next. So far into Haven, I actually started this yesterday because we were hiking yesterday and I didn't have my book close to me, so I just decided to start reading this. I got about I think 10% of the way in, and then I could finish the one that I had been reading, and then I continued it today. I had a lot to do today. I edited my weekly reading vlog for last week. It's gonna be up tomorrow. I also uploaded a few videos on TikTok, just very short ones. And I finished, because I was taking this course in Coursera, which is like a Facebook certification thing, and I passed the exam Friday, and I still had to submit like one last project. It's still getting checked. I don't know when that's gonna be completed, but once it's done, I'm gonna be like completely completing the course. I mean, I already passed the test, so yeah, I finished that this morning, and then I just did quite a bit today. You know, obviously on Sundays I do my laundry and fold it, and kind of did a little bit of kind of did a little few things around in my room. I still don't have new shelves because it was in stock for a bit, but it was like there was only like limited supplies at my IKEA, and then it went out of stock again that same day, but then I checked the next day and had like one more shelf left, and now it's completely out of stock. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to wait, I think, at the end of this month for when they're going to restock a bit more. I have like notifications on because I really need bookshelves. Like literally I have still a stack of books on by my shelves, like there. I already filled in that bottom shelf with some of the books, but I still have that stack right there. I have it like that because I have one book like in the middle somewhere there that I wanted to flatten out, so I just have them stacked like that, so that'll help like the pressure and stuff and all that. So yeah, that's what's happening. So far the book is okay. The beginning was throwing me off because you can tell that the two characters, even though they literally have very minimal in terms of interaction, very intense though, that they're already attached to each other, and I don't really feel okay with tropes like that where they are super attached with each other even though they've literally just known each other for like half an hour at most. So I was like put off by that. I'm still reading it because I still like it. I just didn't like that beginning part, and I can understand why they're so attached like after the whole ordeal, because it was very intense. So a lot of actually content warnings right at the beginning. There is a lot of blood, gore, there is murder and guns, so a lot of content warnings. It was very intense right at the very beginning, and I understand that you get attached to someone who you're with and kind of your survival instincts, because this person tells you that this person is safe, you get attached. But I understand that if it had happened, like the whole attachment kind of happened after like the whole ordeal was over, obviously, if not like within minutes of it. So it was just a little off to me like that. So now I'm just much more okay with the relationship and the way they are right now, our two characters. So I will continue reading it and maybe update you guys at the end of the night in about 45 minutes, an hour of more reading. I'll talk to you then. Okay, so I got to 70%, a little over. I'm glad that they're both aware that there's a lot of things that they need to work through individually, and it's kind of messing the way they are together right now, so they have to really work through that to make it work. I will be continuing tomorrow, and I will update you then once I read a little bit more. Probably finish it. Hello. So I finished Haven earlier today, and I really liked it. The beginning was very insta-lovey. There was a lot of attachment that didn't feel very well developed between the two characters. Felt a little forced. The whole being protective and being concerned, highly concerned and protective about the other person between the two characters. But as the story progressed, I really liked the dynamic between the two, and very spicy. The BDSM part was very educational. Now I picked this up. I'm struggling to get sucked into the story. I had to read the first 10 pages again because I didn't understand a thing. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if it's just because it's the beginning, but usually at this point, I'm now at 40 pages. I'd be pretty invested, or at least very curious about what's happening, and I'm just a little bit too lost. I'm not sucked into the story, and I have really high expectations for this one. So yeah, I'll continue that tomorrow, and then we'll see what will happen then. I'm really slugging through this book. I'm still only 70 pages in. I think it's mostly because I don't understand how the world works. Are they cyborgs or are they AI, but their part of their intelligence is taken from actual humans? Or are they just completely robots, AIs? I don't understand it, and so I'm really confused. And I really don't know what to think about this book. I want to read it. I do. So I think I'm going to read some summaries online. But for now, I'm stopping reading this because I can't force myself to read it because I feel like I'm going to hate it. So I'm going to start a different book. Read summaries online for me to understand what's happening because I really don't understand. And then I'll pick it up because I really want to love it. I really want to read it. So there's that. It's really frustrating to me because I'm so looking forward to it. I just can't understand. Hi, so I picked up Your Dad Will Do by Katee Robert, and I just finished it, and I had a lot of fun reading it. It's literally just spice. Oh my god, this is literally just they're having sex every chapter, and it's sometimes the scene spans 2 to 3 chapters, literally. Oh my god, and they're doing it multiple times, and oh my god, it's not even just, yeah, it's spice with very little plot, but the plot that we did have was pretty good. It is a little bit rushed. That's to be expected. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. And I don't know, just the way it's written, it didn't feel, it didn't feel underdeveloped, the characters. Yeah, it's super fast. There's barely any plot, but whatever plot and characterization there were really good, especially, more of the characterization. And I like this one. If you're just really looking for a really quick and super spicy all throughout every single chapter, read this one. It was so good. Literally finished it in 2.5 hours. It was great. Hello. So yes, I am updating at night. It is 9:30 p.m. Friday, and I had a really long day today. I went to the urgent care with my sister because she hasn't been feeling well. She's had migraines since yesterday, so I had to take her to the urgent care, and I went to Bird's house to get her medicine. It took me a while to get her stuff, so by the time I got home it was already 2 and I haven't eaten anything, so I was just feeling off the rest of the day. And then I was supposed to go to work, but my employer called me this morning, and because I told her that my sister was still not feeling well, so she told me to just stay home with my sister, and because we weren't really in a rush to do anything for today. Anyway, it took a while, and then I was just feeling off because I had a really long morning and I even took a 30-minute nap. I am about 70% of the way through. No, I think about 60% of the way through Fire in His Veins. I still have not continued reading Gear Breakers because I still have not read summaries and reviews about it. I really don't want to continue it though, so once I finish Fire in His Veins, I will focus on reading Gear Breakers, and then tomorrow I can probably finish Fire in His Veins and maybe get through about half of Gear Breakers. I don't know. We'll see. But that's my update for right now. It's been a really long day. I'm super tired when I woke up this morning. From making the shelves yesterday and putting all my books in. It's supposed to be a 2-person thing to make those shelves. I did it all by myself because I hate asking for help. I brought the smaller shelf up the stairs to myself, but I couldn't do it with the second shelf, so I had to ask help from my dad to help me bring it up the stairs. Even then, actually making the entire thing, the actual shelves, it's supposed to be a 2-person job, but yeah, I can do it. I mean, I did it. It was actually a lot of fun. So yeah, just really tired, but really satisfied with my shelves. I'm actually thinking of changing the 2 shelves that I already have because those are not IKEA shelves. And just IKEA shelves are more expensive, but they're definitely sturdier. I can tell you that, like right from the get-go. I can definitely tell you that. They're just nicer overall in quality. I mean, they're still great. I mean, they work, but with the amount of books that I do have, I feel like I do need to invest in higher quality shelves because the actual shelves themselves are starting to bend, and I had to constantly have to like turn them over so that they kind of go back to being straight. But then, you know, anyway, that's my update for right now. I will see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully I will finish Brightness Veins and get through Gear Breakers. Oh, so I wanted to do a quick update because it's raining. It's not officially fall yet. I think next week it's going to be officially fall, like in a few days, but it's like this is our very first storm of this season. I love it. So fall is my favorite season. As you can see, the leaves are starting to change, but usually when fall comes in, the leaves are a lot more. There's a lot more changes to the leaves than this. Like literally, it's just starting. But you can hear the rain. So yeah, that's just it. Just wanted to show you that real quick. Also, I am about 80% of the way through Brightness Veins. I read a little bit before I went to bed last night, and there's an element that was added to it that I really appreciated. It's a really morbid way to say that I appreciate it, but because this is like a very light sci-fi fantasy post-apocalyptic kind of story, there's a lot of things that don't really make sense or aren't, or what would be described as like realistic in terms of it being a post-apocalyptic and how our lives has changed. But there is an element that was added to it in this story that I think fits the post-apocalyptic theme, but also was able to be used as a further exploration of the fantasy elements in this story. So it works really well with that. So yeah, I don't know how much exploration we're gonna do or we're gonna have for this series, because I think there's about 3 or 4 more books in the series left, and the latest one is kind of like a prequel thing, I think, from what I read so far. So that's my update for right now. I'll update you guys in a little bit later because I'm gonna be finishing it probably in under an hour. So I will update you then. Hello, so I finished Fire in His Veins a little bit earlier, like maybe an hour ago. So I'm planning on starting this book, Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. This was released October of last year, and this is actually the L grade edition that I received. So I do want to read this one, but since I did put Gear Breakers on hold, I am now reading reviews for it, seeing what people thought, and if I really do want to continue with it, because for now I really do, because I feel like has a very interesting plotline and storyline. But I'm like really confused, so I'm reading a few reviews right now to see what people thought about it, just to get more of a better idea of the world so that I can continue it. Okay, so this review starts off with a general overview, the basic premise. So Sona is a cybernetically enhanced soldier trained to pilot a giant mecha weapons called wind-ups. That one I got. Though trained by the tyrannical nation of Godolia, Sona harbors a secret. She has infiltrated the Godolia Wind-Up Academy to destroy it from within. That one I didn't know, but I guess that's part of the basic plot. Eris, the other narrator in the story, is a gear breaker. Living on the outskirts of Godolia, Eris is part of a resistance and specializes on taking down the giant wind-ups that terrorize the free Badlands. That one I also got from the story. And then she goes on to the actual review. Let's talk writing, because I think this is going to be discussed at length when this book is released mid-year. So this is from The Quiet Pond, the site The Quiet Pond. I will link it down below. The book does have a shaky start. Though burning with emotion and intensity, the prose is cluttered. I agree. The adjectives excessive. I agree. The mythos a little confusing. It is ultimately challenging to read. Oh, thank God. Thank God I was the only one who thought that. Okay. I found myself having to read certain passages because it was difficult to understand the actions taking place in the narrative, especially during Sona's chapters. I agree. It was really just Sona's chapters that I was really confused about. I'm stubborn though, so I kept reading, hoping the writing would get better. Thankfully, the writing did get better significantly. Around the 20% mark, the story starts to shed the superfluous descriptions, and Zoe starts telling a good story. And wow, can Zoe tell a good story? Oh, the author, Zoe, okay. Whether the writing style in the first 20% was intended to be atmospheric or indicative of Zona's anger and angst, I don't know. But what I can say is that the messiness of the first chapters are not indicative of the writing style in the rest of the book. In fact, the writing is fantastic and riveting, sharp and violent, not like a whetted dagger, but a serrated blade. Admittedly, Gearbreakers has a challenging start, one that may turn off some readers. It's a story that follows worth sticking around for. I think yes. Give this book a chance and you might actually have a great time. What pulled and pushed me through the story was the two wonderful protagonists. Sona and Eris. Both are fanged, angry girls who are made of fight and danger and a stubborn will to survive. Although I loved Eris as a character, I love the way she steadily falls for Sona and fights for those she loves. Sona was such a phenomenal character I enjoyed following, and I love her character development explores identity in a way that we only really see in science fiction. Made and remade into the image of the people that she swore to destroy, her character reminded me of Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell. Let me say this as high praise. So the reviewer recommends the book despite of the unsteady start. And then we have another review from Bookstack. The plot had a lot of promises, especially after reading the blurb, but overall it was very confusing. I had a hard time following along because of the writing. The pacing was off and I was left with more questions than anything else. Zohana Mikuta had a great vision for this story and the writing held promise. There were vivid descriptions and well thought out plans, but unfortunately at times it felt like there was too much telling rather than showing. Usually I find hard to connect with books with this writing style, and that may be why I didn't enjoy my reading experience as much as others. When Eris and Sona began working together, the plot feels a lot smoother. The world is more fleshed out at this point and it was easier to follow along. There were some moments where I was left confused though, and it just made me want more from this book than what I got. Okay, basically the same thoughts. The reviewer from Bookstack liked it less than the previous reviewer. The reviewer kind of has the same thoughts as the previous reviewer, but I think Bookstack liked it less. Okay, and the third one and the last one that I have is Utopia's State of Mind. Book reviews. Same thing. The beginning is just difficult to get a handle on the technology, the differences and the intricacies of Eris and Sona. If you push through the beginning, you'll find a book about humanity, the ways we have to be willing to see past the surface or our intentions. You'll read about characters who were never shown warmth, but have to hide their soft edges and learn to unfurl. Interesting. So all three of the reviewers that I've read have the same thoughts. The beginning is rocky, and you have to really push through to read the rest of it, but it will get better. So I guess I'm continuing it. I do have a better idea of kind of the world, I guess. I will be continuing this, but I will be reviewing a few of the books I read last month. First on my Goodreads and Stargraph, and then I will later actually have placed a hold on my library for the audiobook version because I feel like that will make it a little bit easier for me to read, but that will take me like 10 weeks. So I will continue reading this later after I do some reviews for my book. Okay, so I'm 100 pages in, and I don't know, there was like a really big shift in writing. I was about to drop this. Literally, I was about to DNF this. I was like, okay, let's get to 100 pages, let's see if it changes. And I think by the 90 pages, around 90 pages or so, there was a shift in writing and it was a lot easier to read. I was not as confused because I've been confused the entire time I've been reading this up until page 90 or so. And now the change in writing is really weird. Like, it's suddenly easy to read and suddenly it's not so confusing. I mean, I'm still confused because I don't really know what's going on, and now I kind of understand what's happening, but only from that point when the writing kind of shifted and it became a lot easier to read. I don't know what is up with that weird first, 30%, no, 20% of the book, 25% of the book. Like, why is it written like that? Why is it so confusing? Why is it suddenly not confusing? So weird. So I still have about 40 minutes to read. So I'm gonna put this down. I will definitely pick it up, but I will continue my other book because I was very close to DNFing this. It shouldn't take me this hard, this much effort to read a book. We'll see. I'll read, maybe 20 to 50 more pages and see where the story is and if I'm invested enough to want to continue it. But I will be just putting this down for now and continue my other book. I didn't read anymore. Kind of distracted myself with something. So, yeah, that's it for this week. Not much books. I think I finished 3 books only this week. And besides that, it's been like a really busy week with my shows and my sister getting sick and all that. So, yeah. So I'm gonna end this vlog right here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.